Hello everyone, my name is Isaac. I run a real estate business here in the Houston, Texas area, serving all of your real estate needs. And today we're going to be talking about the pros and cons of living in Cypress, Texas. So if you like this video, please be sure to leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you want to see future content, and hit the bell notification to be notified when I upload that content. And without further ado, let's get right into the video. So for pro number one of living here in Cypress, Texas, and this really only affects you if you have kids because we're talking about the public school system and our public schools. The public schools around here in Cypress, Texas are phenomenal according to schoolpicker.com, and just if you ask anyone around here, no one has really any complaints about the school system. The schools are well maintained, very clean, and that is just one pro of living in Cypress. There's not too much to comment on it. I was homeschooled my entire life, so I actually never went for the public school system, so I can't speak for that personally, but according to anyone I know, no one has really any big gripes, and most of the schools here in Cypress are fantastic. So now we've mentioned our first pro, we're going to talk about our first con, and that is commuting. It is horrible if you have to get to downtown. Not even going to sugarcoat it. It's probably normally a 40-minute downtown. It becomes about a 60 to 75-minute drive when you are commuting in the morning, and probably even on the way back, just because traffic can be so congested. A later con we're going to talk about is the construction and how Houston is constantly trying to keep up with the amount of people coming here or being born, even our population as it continues to grow in the Houston area. And it is very hard to keep up with the amount of people who want to live here, as it is such a fantastic area. So living in Cypress, it's nice because it's a jack of all trades in the sense that you are kind of close to everywhere. If you want to, say, go up to the Woodlands or go down to Katy, or if you need to go out towards Dallas or Austin, or even go to downtown. But if you have to commute every single day to downtown, you are probably looking at like a 75-minute drive. If you're going up to the Woodlands, luckily you can use 99 tollway. So aside from the tolls, you are only going to be about a 45-minute drive. It's a lot better than having to go downtown, taking Highway 290, and going down to Katy is about a 45-minute drive, also using 99. So that is a fact to know. And again, like our con number one, I would definitely say, is traffic, and that's kind of the territory that comes when you are moving to a bigger city, is you have a lot of people, a lot of drivers, and the highways can only be so big. But like I just said, even though con number one is traffic, our pro definitely would be our highways, because getting around to everywhere, with Houston being such, or even Texas just being such a big place, our highways are super fast, and you'll typically find the speed limit being about 65 to even 75 if you're going on to 45 towards Huntsville and to Dallas area. So definitely our pro getting to places is our highways, and I guess that's more so just even Texas than Cypress. But luckily, being in Cypress, you're only at all times about 15 minutes at most being away from a highway, so you can pretty much zip down to a highway pretty quick if you take one of the main roads like Friar, Barker, or Mason, or anywhere like that. You're only about 15 minutes away from a highway at all times, and then from there you can get to wherever you need to go. But that's going to take us to our next con, which is construction. And whether that is on the highways, the normal roads, with Houston again being so big, and people, they're flocking to Cypress as well because it's like a really nice suburban area. They don't want the city feel. I mean, you go downtown, and I love Houston, but we do got a homelessness issue, and that is not something I really want to be around. And so with Cypress, you kind of avoid issues like that. You'll see people selling flowers on the road, but you won't have that confrontation that you'll have being in Houston. And that's just being honest. I'm not going to sugarcoat it and say that Houston is completely perfect, because it's not. But that's just like anywhere in the world, right? So, but with Houston, we're talking traffic. And traffic, a lot of it does come from construction, because we are constantly it took forever for 290 to be finished, and by the time it's finished, it feels like it needs to be expanded again. Highway 6 and all these places are constantly doing construction just to keep up with the road maintenance and to keep up with the growing population here, expanding roads and just infrastructure being built. So we find that we do get a lot of construction, which also sucks because Cypress, as it continues to grow and houses continue to be built, that we have to deal with nails being in the road, and that's just, I mean, that's just part of the game, right? If you're in a new neighborhood like Town Lake, we just had like 3 houses be built next to us, and we had a nail in one of our cars because it's just so much construction going on. So that is our second con of living in Cypress, and that's just the price you pay for being in an area that is constantly growing, that has really good growth. It's also why we have such great appreciation on real estate, and why that's probably going to keep happening. We've had just positive year over year appreciation on our real estate, just due to the fact of our population keeps growing, so the demand for housing continues to get higher, and you can only build so many houses. But with Cypress, even though it is constantly growing, our pro number 3, as our last pro in this video, would be the community here. Cypress is a really outdoorsy type community. You find that a lot of the master plan communities and even just normal neighborhoods in general all have, the subdivisions all have really good amenities, whether that's like water, the trails, rec centers, pools, splash pads, you name it. Some of them have golf courses right next to them. Town Lake has its own lake that it's on. Me and my family, we actually live in Town Lake, and we actually live like right on the water, which is why we wanted to move over here so we can stay in Cypress and not have to move to Austin to be on, say, Lake Travis, or move to Conroe to be on Lake Conroe. Though there are some distinct advantages of moving to Lake Conroe or in Austin to get on Lake Travis and such, for boating restrictions, but that's a separate video to talk about. So, but in Cypress, we have an amazing community. Everyone's really outdoors. You have your local kind of like grocery stores and whatnot, where you can just kind of run in and bump into your neighbors. So it's a really cool, tight-knit community of people. So our last con for this video is the property tax. Here in Texas, we have the 3rd highest property taxes in the United States. And with Cypress having an average property tax of about 2.3%, it is a lot more expensive than where you live in other states. But we are one of the 7 states that don't have state income tax, so this does kind of contribute to why property taxes are a little higher to try to get you somewhere else. So with that being said, we have about 2.3% on average, but if you want to look on the bright side, I guess the grass is always greener on the other side. Richmond, Texas has about 6-ish% property tax rate, so I guess 2.3 isn't so bad at the end of the day. But in Texas, if you are from out of state, you will know, or probably have heard, that you get a lot more house for your money, so you definitely will be paying a bit more on the backside of that. So with that being said, property taxes would be our last con, and they kind of vary, but again, it's typically about 2.3, and Houston's about 2.2 to 2.4. So with that being said, if y'all find this information helpful, or you'll want a little more information about living in Cypress, please drop a comment or shoot me a text or a call. My number is in the description. I would love to talk to you, and if you're thinking about moving to Cypress, Texas, please hit me up. I'd love to earn your business and provide value to you as you're looking for a home. So without further ado, thank you again so much for watching this video, and I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. And again, thank y'all so much. Bye-bye.